Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 77. Andrew Eisen here, along with E. Zachary Knight.
Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Yep.
Yep.
So, not a solo show this time, so you don't have to listen to me complaining about things, because that's all I've been doing in the last 2 weeks is complaining about things.
Complain, complain,
Hopefully,
complain.
hopefully
That's
in
it.
an entertaining manner, at least. But, no more. We actually, I think we have some topics where the things that I actually kind of somewhat like. Um, I started a new video game. Let me grab it because I actually happen to have it sitting right here. Dragon Quest Heroes. The
Nice. That's
world.
the Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Hyrule Warriors instead of Zelda. It's Dragon Quest, and the subtitle is "The World Trees Woe and the Blight Below," which is I appreciate the rhyme, but that's an unwieldy title.
Yes, it is.
It's a
Is
little
that
ridiculous.
one and two, or is that just the?
No, that's just one. One and two is, so far as I know, exclusive to the Switch. And I'm not
Okay.
sure if it's one of those, the first one or like the second one is on the card and there's just a download code for the first one or something like
Yeah.
that, or if they're both on the card. But I'm getting them for the PS4 because, um, well, they run a lot better and they look a lot better on the PS4. And the PS4 is not host to the world's worst controller, so
Yeah.
that's where I'm playing Dragon Quest Heroes. And as some of you may know, Dragon Quest is my favorite RPG series,
Yeah.
and
That's a really good one.
I am loving this game. I am really, really liking this game, and you probably noticed on Twitter, and I've even complained about how I keep complaining about things. Like I don't like anything, and I don't like not liking things, but I don't like anything. Um, it's really lovely to finally have something that I just unabashedly like. It's not flawless. Oh, I could nitpick it, but it's just a damned joy to play, and I'm really digging the game. I've been playing it
That's good.
since last Sunday or something like that. So,
Yeah.
Dragon Quest World Trees Woe and the Blight Below is, I had to read it on the title screen there. Um, Memorable
Uh,
title,
oh
is
yeah.
the goods, and it actually integrates RPG, Dragon Questy RPG stuff pretty well. It's still basically, each mission is there's a bunch of baddies, go hit them with your stick. um, and the sequence is just mission, 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 mission. Same as pretty much all Warriors games so far as I've seen. Although I've only personally played Hyrule Warriors and now this, but uh, hiccup. But you are constantly recruiting new party members. You gain experience. Your experience nets you skill points, which you assign to skill trees. You're constantly getting items, which you can use in an alchemy pot to make accessories that your characters can wear for certain buffs. Um, you're In addition to the regular smack people with stick attacks, your characters have spells like they do in Dragon, and it makes that same that old 8-bit sound for the spell casting, which is awesome.
Nice.
Um, so you hold a button and it brings up kind of a spell wheel, and you hit the corresponding button to cast the particular spell you want. And one of the things it does, if you remember the old Dragon Quest games, there are levels of spells.
Mhm.
Like there's whoosh, which is a wind spell, and then there's swoosh, which is the higher version of
Yeah.
whoosh, and then there's kaswoosh, which is the big tornado one. And how it does it in this is the longer you hold the button, the more powerful spell you get. So if you just tap the button, if you
Nice.
pull up the spell wheel and tap the button, you do whoosh. If you hold it for a second or two, you get swoosh, and if you hold it for 3 or 4 seconds, you get swoosh. So it works really, really well, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it. And
Nice.
and there's monster medals, and there's treasure chests, and there's side quests. Almost all of them, I mean, pretty much all the side quests are go beat up another big horde of monsters.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is, I'm loving this, but as you've probably heard me say before, I think Fire Emblem Warriors looks bad. I still think it looks bad. Just mechanically and visually, it looks bad. But one of the things that just doesn't look interesting, and I'm not a Fire Emblem fan, but one of the things that's kind of disappointing about the game is while I love the fan service and I love all the heroes and characters that you play as, you're just fighting armies of generic faceless dudes.
Yeah.
It's boring. It's just bunch of dudes in red, bunch of dudes in blue. Who cares? In Hyrule Warriors, you're fighting bokoblins and Stalfos and all the
Yeah.
known Zelda enemies. In Dragon Quest, you're fighting all slimes and
And Heelys
slimes
and
and heel slimes and metal slime. Damn metal slimes, always running around. Hold still, you little bastard. And dragons and skeletons and ghouls and little mages and oh man, it is so cool. And I've always loved the art style for Dragon Quest.
yeah,
And that is
that's one
really
of the things I
faithfully
really like. Yeah.
reproduced in these games, and it's just cute and charming as all hell. The only thing that maybe doesn't quite work is some of the heroes are pulled from the older Dragon Quest games,
Yeah.
and the ones from like Dragon Quest VIII, like Jessica and Yangus, are really cool to see because Dragon Quest VIII was on the PS2 and it was a full 3D game with
Yeah.
voiced characters and stuff. So they come in and you're like, oh, it's Yangus and it's Jessica. I remember them. But then you have characters from like Dragon Quest IV, like Elena and Kirill, and you're like, which one was that again? Because it's just this little four-color sprite on the NES.
Yeah.
You remember them from the instruction manual artwork, but you didn't really key on to their personality. I mean, Elena was always the rough and tumble fighty one from Dragon Quest IV, and that personality comes across, but you don't. And she's a wonderful character, but there isn't quite that connection because she was just a four-color sprite on the NES. Now, the Dragon Quest IV was remade for the DS several years ago, and they did kind of a more 3D version of it. So if you've played those versions, the characters in here from 4 and I think 5, some of them, I don't recognize some of the characters. I had to look them up, and they're from 5.
Yeah, that's one of those
you'll
things.
probably get more out of that. But,
Yeah, because here in the US, we didn't get 5 and 6 until their DS or 3DS remakes.
Yeah, and 7.
Well, no,
and-
7
well,
was
and-
7
and-
was on the PlayStation.
Oh, you're
The
right.
original
You're right.
PlayStation, yeah.
You're right. 5 and 6, yeah, I don't think even came out here until the remakes. And then 7 was on the original PlayStation. 8 was on
PlayStation
the PS2. 9 is on the DS. But 9 doesn't have any characters. It's one of the reasons I didn't like 9, other than the fact that it was on the DS.
There were no actual character.
You create your own character.
Okay.
And so you're just hero.
So it was just a single character and not like a party?
No. Well, you create your recruits too, which
that's
means
lame.
no one has any personality and everyone refers to you as just the hero because your character has no personality because it's just you.
Yeah.
And some people enjoy that, but for this type of game, I like being told a story. I like being told a story with specific characters. And Dragon Quest VIII kind of gets around that a little bit. Your main hero is just kind of hero, but he has his own unique look and attitude, if not, and a bit of backstory. But he's supposed to be you.
It was like that with.
But he is with Jessica and Yangus and the silver-haired dude in the red.
Well, and you have that in Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest IV as well, where it wasn't so much a create your own character. You just kind of pick male or female and name your character at the beginning of the game, and then you don't even actually play as that
Until
person
chapter
until
5,
like
yeah.
until chapter 5, which is like 6 or 7 hours into the game.
Yeah, because you start out with Ragnar.
Ragnar, and then Tulun. No, was it Tulun
No,
or no?
Tulun's 3. Elena
Tulun's
and Kirill
3.
are
Yeah,
the second chapter. Tulun is the
yeah,
third one. He's the shopkeep dude, and I love
yeah.
his chapter. He's
Oh
just like,
yeah, his
I
is
want,
so much fun. I
I want to
like
run
it.
a shop. It's so
Yeah,
great.
it
He's not
is.
saving the world. He just wants to run an item
Yeah,
shop. It's great.
but the funny thing with that
Four
chapter
is
is 4 is the sisters
Maya and the
and
sisters, Maya and the dancer and the fortune teller, Maya
yeah,
and
I forget their
um, forget the and Susan. And then 5, they all come together with your
with your
somewhat generic hero, but I think he's like the descendant of Erdrick, who was like the hero in the
yeah, he
first
is
game
the
or
ex
something.
yeah. No, well,
It's been like
Erdrick
20
was
years since I played this,
number
so.
3.
Oh, no, right,
But
because that was the prequel, because in the first game, you're the descendant of Erdrick or something, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Something like
you were
that.
the descendant, and then number 2, you were the descendant of number 1's hero, and then number 3, you went all the way back to
And
Erdrick,
played the
and
original dude. Right, that's
yeah,
what it is. Okay.
yeah.
Hard to keep these straight after a couple decades. But
Yeah, 4
yeah,
was always my favorite. I have
four's long been my favorite too.
fondness
I did
for
a
number 1 just because that was the one that I got introduced into it. But 4
mhm.
was just so much fun with the different chapters where you play focused on a different hero, and then the final one, and that actually has influenced a lot of my a lot of my game development ideas in how I want to approach stuff, because I like the way that story the story
Yeah.
unfolded that way.
Matthew says if you want to run an item shop, play Reciteer and Item Shop's Tale, and I have. Well, I played the
Yeah.
demo for it, and I really liked it. I found it a lot of fun and really quite charming. So yeah,
Yeah.
Reciteer I think is really cool.
But going back to Tulun's chapter, the
Mhm.
first time I played the game, I didn't realize you could go and buy the broadswords and plate armor from other towns for cheap, and then to finish his final thing. And so I would go into the dungeon and fight monsters and get the drops, and there was like a couple of chests that would that had those items in them, and and they would reappear. The items would go back into the chest the next time you go in. And so I spent few hours just going back and forth into that dungeon getting these equipments, and then years later I find out, oh, I could have just gone to that village and bought the broadswords in that village to get the plate armors, and I would have been done in no time.
My mom and I spent a ton of time in the casinos and the Coliseum, which I think is introduced in chapter 4, if I'm remembering. But we had a ball just betting
Elena,
on
you
monster
fight
fights all the
in
time.
the
Well, she fights in a
he fights
Coliseum.
in the Coliseum, and then
Chapter.
in chapter 4, there's a you bet on basically cockfighting, but it's just
Yeah,
monsters killing each
there's like
other.
here are the monsters in there, and you're like, who do you bet on to win? Mom and I we'd boot up the game and we'd just bet at the Coliseum. And it's a static screen of pictures sitting next to each other that would Monster A attacks Monster B. Flash. We're like,
Yeah.
ah! So
Yeah, that was always fun. I like that. That was my favorite part of the casino. But
the Coliseum, yeah.
yeah.
All right, so let's see. What do we have for topics tonight? Okay, because I was looking at the Amazon thing. I'm not on my right. There we go. Okay, so the Game Awards were Thursday night, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, I missed them. I read some recaps and everything, but
I watched. I had it on while I was at work for the first hour, so I was keeping an eye on it, and then I left work because my shift was over, went to the gym, came home, and then just kind of scrolled through it just to see what was going on. So my favorite moment, I talked about this on Twitter, but my absolute favorite moment from the entire show was the Academy Awards where someone gets their award and they clappity clap and they get up on stage and they thank everyone on a long list of paper, and then the orchestra will start queuing up the music and drowning them
Hmm.
out. They're like, go. They don't exactly do that at the Game Awards. They just, when they're done, they start playing music as they walk off stage, and then Jeff Keighley gets back. So, Cuphead won again, this time for Best Indie Game. And four peoples walk up on stage, and one of the peoples gets on the mic and thanks a bunch of peoples. And it's like, okay, thank you, good night. And then the next guy says, oh, and the music goes bop, 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 bop. But whoever the producers are, they were on the ball and they immediately cut that music in like less than a second. Because he's like, oh, and music. And he's like, oh, well, okay. And is like, oh, yeah, I just wanted to say that um, if you haven't played any of the other games that were nominated, they're all fantastic and you totally should. Okay, bye. I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. I mean, not only were the
Yeah.
producers of the show totally on the ball and they're like, no, 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 they're still talking. Cut the music, cut the music. I mean, they were on that thing. The guy had something really awesome to say. That was my
Yeah.
favorite thing from the entire show.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't think I caught that one in any of the recaps.
No one talks about that.
Yeah.
I've actually read a couple show recaps, and everyone talks about the A Way Out dude saying "F the Oscars" and going on a tear, and
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley looking really uncomfortable and trying his best to manage this and just move on. Everyone's talking about that, but no one talked
Yeah.
about what I thought was really the sweetest moment of the entire show.
Yeah, and that is definitely cool because it's very rare that you see anybody thank or show appreciation towards the losers, when they get up there to their acceptance speeches.
Mhm.
I don't really care for the Oscars or the Emmys or Grammys or
Yeah, neither
anything,
do I.
but it's
I
like
was only watching for the game previews.
yeah, but it's just like, I know you never see that kind of stuff, and but yeah, that's really cool. And I think that's really indicative of the indie game scene where uh,
Yeah.
these game developers, they know how hard it is to make a game and how awesome it feels to succeed, and they appreciate that, and they're able to show that appreciation to other game developers that they know are going through the exact same thing they're going through. And so yeah, that's just really cool to see them make that, show that appreciation and call out to people, say, hey, go play these other games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll be like that too, and when I get up there on stage and take home my whatever award for a game that I make sometime in the future.
So Reggie Fils-Aimé is up there.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I've got so much awesome to show you," and Jeff's like, "Sure, okay, let's see it." And then they say, "Okay, Bayonetta," and we're like, "Bayonetta 3?" Like, no, Bayonetta 2. It's like, oh, well, okay, that's cool because I have this outline for a video that I may do at some point. Awesome Wii U games that deserve a second chance on the Switch.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 2 is definitely one of them because it's a great game. Not a lot of people
Yeah.
played it because not a lot of people had a Wii U. So there's a ton of great games on the Wii U. Bayonetta 2 is one of them. More people should play it. So it's nice that it's coming to the Switch. Doesn't make any difference to me because I have a Wii U and I have Bayonetta 2. So I've already played it. So, oh well. And then they say, oh, but we have something else. And I'm like, Bayonetta 3? And they say, no, Bayonetta 1. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense because it was packaged together with Bayonetta 2, which was something that I called in one of my
Yeah.
predictions years ago, which, yeah, I get them right occasionally. And then that was it. And it goes back to Jeff Keighley and Reggie. And uh, Jeff Keighley's like, I noticed you're not wearing a specific character pin, just a generic Switch pin. So I guess you learned your lesson from that one time, right? And he's like, yeah, I love all my children. It's like, okay, Reggie, well, it's always good to see you, dude. Bye. And he's like, well, wait, Jeff. Do you really think I would come all the way out here with just that announcement? I was so waiting for Jeff Keighley to go, Yeah,
Yeah.
because you've totally done that before. You remember 3 years ago when you came out and you're like, I've got a huge announcement. Everyone sit down for this. Cranky Kong in the house, yo. And Jeff Keighley's like, that's very cool. That's very cool. What else you got? It's like, that's it. Really? Just Cranky Kong? Yep. You're I see you're wearing a Metroid pin. I just like Metroid. That's really it? Yep. Oh, well, okay. So anyway, they announced that Bayonetta 3 is coming to the Switch in a few years because it's obviously just started development.
Yeah.
So we ain't gonna see 2019 at earliest, I'm thinking. But still,
Yeah,
very, very,
definitely.
very nice to see because Bayonetta is awesome, and I would
Hey,
like to
and
play more.
but this teaser trailer or a teaser announcement or whatever was had more content than Metroid Prime 4 did.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
In fact, the night was chock full of a bunch of trailers that didn't really tell me anything.
Yeah.
From Software's, I
What
forget what it's even
was
called,
that?
but it was a
It,
picture of like a bone and a tendon on a
or
string.
something. I was like trying to figure it out because it looked like a wine corkscrew thing, like one of
Yeah,
the intricate ones, but like covered in blood and goop. And I'm like, wait, and I'm like,
yeah,
what is this?
second
And
death or something. I don't remember
or
what it's called, but
shadows die twice or whatever it
oh yeah,
was.
yeah, shadows die twice, something like that.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, that
it's like,
trailer
well,
made
that's
no
kind of
sense.
pointless. I mean, basically, they just said, "Hey, From Software's working on something that's not Dark Souls and not Bloodborne." Unless this happens to be Bloodborne 2 and it's like the subtitle, or Dark Souls 4 and it's the subtitle or something like that. But
Yeah.
basically, it was just From Software is working on something. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But I mean, I had the same thought from the Firewatch developers in the Valley of Gods or something, which was like a 2 minute trailer of two archaeologists running through a tomb to set up a camera to film the sunrise. And it's got a nice art style, but I left the trailer going, what is the game?
Yeah. Well,
What
there
is the
wasn't
game? What do you
when
do?
they first announced Firewatch. That's about all we got was
Well, I mean, but you
shots
got
of a park, a national park with a guy talking on the on his walkie-talkie. But
sure,
we
but you got
didn't.
some story and you got some intrigue. There was a whole thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna go into the thing, and it's like, wait, you're not alone. It's like, oh, okay, so you're wandering around a forest and there might be some things happening. No, okay, and the interaction between the person walking around, the person on the other end of the walkie-talkie was interesting. This one was just archaeologists wander around and get to the top of a thing so that they can film the sunset. It's like, okay, but what is the game?
Maybe
And
that is
uh,
the game.
and so it
They
goes
just
with
spoiled the ending in the
yeah.
trailer.
So same with Death Stranding, which bores the ever loving heck out of me.
Oh, and that was 8 minute. That was an
That
eight
was
minute
eight. We
segment,
have
and I
now
was
seen through the three trailers nearly 15 minutes of that game and still do not know what it is. The only
yeah,
thing we know is Hideo Kojima, Norman Reedus, Mids Maverson, and Guillermo del Toro, and that's a great pedigree of dudes to make a thing, but we still
yeah,
don't know what the thing is. I
yeah.
mean, we can kind of assume that maybe it's weird,
It's
but
definitely weird.
yeah.
That's saying that's being nice there
I
because
mean,
that
Bayonetta
first
3 didn't show us
teaser
anything,
was
but
just
it's Bayonetta 3.
yeah, we know
So
what
we
Bayonetta is
know
gonna
what
be. Yeah,
Bayonetta is.
yeah,
Death Stranding is new, so we don't know what it is. So you're just wasting our time. Well, I
yeah.
mean, wasting my time. A lot of people really love it for whatever. It's just a
For
mini
whatever
movie.
reason,
There's
yeah.
no
But
game.
yeah, I just that first trailer when with Daryl waking up on a oil covered beach or whatever it was. I saw that and I'm like,
I saw
this
that and I was like, great.
ex-
What's the game?
Yeah, I'm like, this makes no sense.
And
I
then there
don't get
was
any
a
feel for
Guillermo
what
del
the
Toro
game
looking
is.
dude cradling a baby, walking around a war-torn
Yeah.
place, and he walks into a tunnel, and Mads Mikkelsen and him is there with gooey eyes. And I'm like, great. What's the game? And this one's 8 minutes of Norman Reedus is wandering around. There's invisible people, and one guy gets caught under a truck, and another guy's trying to pull him out. And I'm like, dude, that's totally not going to work. And then invisible monsters attack them, and then he ends up underwater, and then he ends up not underwater, and he's got a baby in his stomach. I'm like, great. What is the game? I'm here to play a game. If you don't tell me what the game is, if you give me absolutely no indication whatsoever what the game is, I have literally zero interest. And I love Guillermo del Toro, and I've liked a lot
Yeah.
of Hideo Kojima's stuff. But if you don't give me any any sense at all of what the game is, I don't care. And that may just be me because super
Oh,
hype for a
I'm
lot of
with
people.
you. And
So
unless it's a a game and a franchise that I know, I can't get into these weird teaser trailers that game developers are putting out these days. Because yeah, I'm with you. It's like, give me some idea of what the game is so that I can build my expectations around that. But, oh well, Hideo Kojima, or however you say his name. But yeah, yeah, I guess that's what we should be expecting, is something similar to what he's done in the past, but even more so because he's not bogged down by Konami now.
here's the problem though, from my perspective, just my perspective. Um, Hideo Kojima's games are insufferable when they don't let you play them. His games are great when they let you
What, you
play.
mean
When they try to be a
you
movie,
don't want a
they
90
suck.
minute cutscene at the beginning of a game?
Seriously, every single time a cutscene starts in Metal Gear Solid 5 or whatever Hideo Kojima game I'm playing, I do this. I roll my eyes and go, because I'm like, no, no, I don't want to watch your stupid movie. I want to play the game because the game is really, really fun. But the movie part is stupid.
Yeah. Well, this is one of this is Polygon's um, headline for Death Stranding. It says
Mhm.
Kojima fans try to make sense of Death Stranding's latest trailer.
You can't. You can
Yeah,
only describe what you're seeing. That's it. Super Metal
yeah,
Dave says it looks like a mix of Alien and 2001: A Space Odyssey. No idea what the gameplay is. Or gameplay is a total mystery, though. Don't know why I'm
yeah.
paraphrasing stuff I could actually read. Um, Trilink says no gameplay shown even by the third trailer. Was immensely disappointed. Can't buy a game if I don't know how it will play. Uh, and Suzanne says, "Hi, Dave." Well, hi, Suzanne. You know? um, don't
Uh,
ignore the hosts. So,
what
and I
are we
kind
to
of agree
do,
with that. It's
Dave?
like, the first, well, Dave's more popular than I am, and rightfully so. So I understand.
Yeah.
Um, so the I kind of agree with it. A new IP, the first trailer is just a full CG, no gameplay. That's fine, especially if it's earlier in development and you don't have any gameplay footage that's ready to show yet. I get it, but at least your CG footage should communicate what the game is.
Yeah.
I mean, Madden, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's completely pre-rendered CG stuff, but it's a football game. I understand football. I have a good idea of what I'm going to be doing in the game.
Yeah.
Um, but this stuff just frustrates me. And the Game Awards were actually chock full of a lot of trailers like that, where
Oh
I'd
yeah.
end up going, okay, cool,
What's the game, man?
pretty, but you're trying to sell me on a game, not a movie or a short film. So,
Hmm.
hmm. But anyway, there was no Schick Razor Robo Bot, so that I saw that was nice because that thing's
Yeah.
creepy. They did. I love the live orchestra. I love the medley of games, and I really wanted And they actually had, I forget her name, but the woman who does the Jump Up Superstar song get out on stage and sing Jump Up Superstar during the final games medley. I'm like, man, it I don't think it should have been, but I really wish Arms would have been nominated for best game just so we could have a full uh, live performance of the Arms theme too. That would be so good.
That would have been neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think just looking at some of the announcements that came out, I think the only announcement that really catches my eye that
Mhm.
makes me somewhat excited is Soul Calibur 6, because Soul Calibur is probably my favorite fighting franchise. I'm not a huge fighting game fan. I do like
Hmm.
Marvel versus Capcom, and I liked what was that one? Now I can't remember the name of it. Um, there was the fighting game where it was a bunch of people that transformed into animals to fight.
Altered Beast. Well, that's no
No,
fighting
not
game,
Altered Beast, but
but
yeah, Bloody Roar. That's what it was.
oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but that one's not around anymore.
No, no,
But yeah, Soul Calibur has always been my favorite. Five really disappointed me. I was really annoyed with
I like
how they
forgot
handled
about
five.
five
Yeah, well, that's because it was terrible. The
because they
story,
announced the Fire Emblem, Soul Calibur 6. I'm like, what happened to five? Oh, there was a five, wasn't there? Yeah, we
yeah,
don't
and it was
talk about it
complete
anymore.
garbage. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they basically got rid of the story mode. There was still story mode in there, but story mode consisted of text on the screen after you go through all the different fights. There was because story mode in the original Soul Edge, that really got me into the series, because that one, it's like you see your character wander around a map from node to node, and in each node they there's a little cutscene between them and the person they're going to fight, and then you
Mhm.
fight them, and then you move to the next node. I thought that was really cool. And two and three, didn't quite do it the same way, but they were still fun. And then four was okay, but five was just absolute garbage. And
Mm.
but they're going back to their roots with six, which is cool. They're going back to the original cast and then adding a couple extra characters in there. So yeah, hopefully they do some, they learn from the mistakes of four and five, and do something better. Um, so
TriLink is guessing that Bayonetta 3 will release in October 2019 for the franchise's 10th anniversary. And I would say that would be a good time to release it and gives them enough
yeah,
time to actually make the game. Because it looks
very
like
true.
they've just started development because they had nothing to show. And unless it's a prequel, I thought it was a little odd that that's the character model, that's Bayo's character model from the first game, unless
Hmm.
it's a prequel or sidequel.
Yeah,
I imagine Bayo's going to have a different look. Um, so I think they
probably.
they may have just cobbled something together from mostly existing assets because they're just starting, which is fine. You know, take your time, make a great game.
Yeah.
I will be there. Bayonetta 3 is incredibly family friendly. Matthew, what are you talking about? Bayonetta is so thoughtful. She always lets you know that she still has her crotch. You will not go through 20, you will not have to wonder this because she will show you. She will make sure you, your mom and dad and your children and the dog all know that yes, my crotch is still here. So whew, you can relax. It's incredibly family friendly.
Oh man. Yeah.
My sister and I were playing Bayonetta 2, and that's every time there was a crotch shot, and we're like, "Oh, thank God, she still has a crotch." I was wondering that. We're giggling like idiots because that's what we do. And
Yeah.
then we'd beat up monsters and get halos, and we'd go into the shop, and it's like, now should I power up Bayonetta's health bar or get some new costumes? Nope, we're gonna buy new costumes. We're not gonna spend anything on the stupid
Yep.
buffs or anything like that. Nope, costumes. Ooh, a white dress. There we go.
Yep.
Police
All right.
outfit. So
Yeah.
Bayonetta's the goods.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a big question for you
Yes.
regarding the Game Awards. Is that Nintendo has finally released the second half of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC. Are
Nintendo
you
still.
impressed?
Well, I don't know because Nintendo didn't really do much to describe what it is. They're just saying it's here now. Go get it. And it's like, all right. So I actually had to look up what it is, and if I remember correctly, the original listing for the DLC Pack 2 said new story, which this appears to be, new dungeon. And at the time I was like, well, is it a dungeon or is it like a shrine? Apparently it's not a dungeon. It's a couple shrines. And apparently they're very good shrines. But and no, I'm not calling Nintendo a liar or anything over that. But it's it'll take you a good solid day to get through. I mean, day of doing all day to get through the content, and you get a motorcycle, which is pretty cool. So, is that
Yeah.
alone worth $20? I don't know. I do know that I want it, which means that Zelda, for all intents and purposes, from my perspective, costs
$80.
$80,
Yeah.
a price I am not willing to pay for any video game. So maybe I'll get Zelda for Christmas, and then I'll only have to fork over $20 for the DLC, or I'll play the game and be sick of it and say, "Yeah, I'm done. I don't need more." Doubtful, but or I'll just sit and spin for a while until Zelda comes down in price, or I can find it
Find
for
it for cheap.
or used or something. Matthew says it's 20 new shrines. Oh, okay. Will I be playing any of Monster Hunter World Beta this weekend? Scotty Jamin asks me. I would if I had PS Plus, which I don't. So no. The Monster Hunter World demos this weekend. I'm sorry, beta, not a demo, beta. And I totally would play it, except it's exclusive to PlayStation Plus subscribers, of which I am not one. So I'll have to wait until the end of January when the game comes out.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
But yeah,
What does it cost to
Nintendo.
get PlayStation Plus on the
I think it's
PS4?
like $40 a year, or
No.
no, I think it's like $50 a year. But you can get it on sale right now, or maybe
Yeah.
during Black Christmas,
Black Christmas.
Friday, Black Friday. You could get it for
there's
40
a
bucks.
there's a horror movie title for you. Black
Yeah, well,
Christmas.
that is a horror movie title. It's in the '70s, I think. Has Margot Kidder in it.
Okay.
Bob Clark directed it. I think they
Huh.
remade it in the early 2000s. I never saw the remake, but
Okay. I guess yeah.
it's too close. It's a demo. It's too close to release to be a real beta. Um, I mean, it depends on what the beta is for. If the beta is for network stress testing, I guess you could call it a beta. But yeah, the
Yeah.
game content, I think at this point is probably locked. TriLink, you may be waiting a while for Nintendo games to drop in price. Yeah, that's why I said or used, because Nintendo games almost never drop in price.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Every Halloween, I keep thinking I keep going into the eShop thinking that Nintendo's gonna put a Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water on sale. Nope.
Nope.
I guess they just really don't want anyone to buy that game because I would totally buy it if it were $20, but it's not. So because I played the demo, or
Yeah.
because the game is, they give you the first like 2.5 chapters for free, and then you have to drop 40 or $50 on the rest of the game. I played the opening 2 chapters. And I think it's interesting, not $40 or $50 interesting, maybe $20 interesting. Um, but oh, I actually did just buy Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice because that was on sale for $22 and some change. So
Okay, I'm not
uh,
familiar with that one.
that's the one where that's that kind of AAA indie game. Uh,
Okay.
the where the gal, the gimmick of the game is the gal has some like she's schizophrenic and hears voices and something like that. It's a hacky slashy game.
Okay, it's
It's
still not ringing a bell. Okay.
no, okay.
Yeah.
The digital download, it's $30, and I think Ninja Theory did that one. Um, anyway, I'm excited to check that one out at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, them's were the Game Awards. Yeah, moving on, moving on. So Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom. I'm sorry, Jurassic World
Yeah,
Fallen
it's
Kingdom.
not park anymore. It's a
Oh,
world. It's a
that's
whole
right.
world. It's a Jurassic World after all.
Lovely. So the trailer for Jurassic World came out, and I thought maybe I should do a reaction video where I stare blankly at the trailer and bore everyone to tears. But it came out like in the middle of the day. It didn't release Thursday morning, so
Yeah.
I was at work. Um, so my takeaway was John Hammond built Jurassic Park on an active volcano. Man, that
Well,
that guy just was not really planning ahead, was he?
no.
Maybe it was.
If you in the Lost World, the island that they go to is built on a volcano of some sort. Not like an active volcano,
Isla
but they
Sonor is a volcano too. I
um
didn't know either of them were volcanoes.
well the I know for sure the second one was because they used geothermal power generation in
Oh,
that one. So
yeah, don't remember.
yeah, that's the only reason I know is
Well,
because of the power
that was at
generation.
least Site B, but
Yeah.
Jurassic World takes place on Isla Nublar, where the original Jurassic Park was,
Yeah,
and apparently
I
it's
don't think that one ever mentioned its power source. So
so. Not only did Hammond make a few miscalculations in his plan, he also built a theme park for children on an active volcano. Good job, buddy.
yeah,
So apparently the plot of the movie is, oh no, it's been a couple of years since Jurassic World. I guess Jurassic World just did not recover from the incident depicted in the movie, and they just abandoned the
yeah, I
place.
wouldn't expect it would. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
come on.
quite a
Most
lot
people
of damage.
survive. Eh,
Well, there was quite a few deaths, which means there was quite a few
yeah,
lawsuits
but
for
most of them
negligent.
were very few of the actual guests. In fact,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's depicted that any of the guests were killed. It's mostly
I
engine
don't know.
employees and the kid's babysitter.
Yeah, but I think there were a few guests that got killed, like especially with
Eh,
the
the
pterodactyls or
pterodactyl attack, or
pterosaurs
not
or whatever.
pterodactyl, but
Um,
yeah, I guess some of
yeah,
them got munched, but
yeah,
so I don't know. So they're going back to they're like, we need to rescue the dinosaurs. I'm like, do you?
yeah. It's
I
like, do
mean,
you
do
really
you?
need
Because
to
I mean, if the volcano eats them or covers them all,
eat them?
kills them all, you can just make more. They're not
That's
they're not
true.
even the actual dinosaurs, as they point out in the Jurassic World. These aren't actual dinosaurs. These are hybrids with frogs and other weird things. This is not which is kind of an interesting way to get around the we've learned more about dinosaurs since the early 90s. So,
Yeah,
they look like this because feathers aren't cool on a T-Rex, so we engineered it to be featherless. So these are custom made dinos. But I
yeah.
mean, still, do they not have a right to life? Well, I mean, it's a volcano. If they're meant
What are
to
you gonna do
survive
about
those,
it?
apparently Mother Nature really does not like dinosaurs because it killed them the first time. It seems she's coming back for them again.
Yeah, and honestly, I've got to question um the intelligence behind this rescue mission because just watching that trailer, there are quite a few dinosaurs. You're going to need a few, more than a
Why?
handful of aircraft carrier sized
What I'm wondering is, are they
ships to
Noah's arking it, or are
transport
they
them
just trying
all.
to get a couple like male female pairs from each? Well, actually, they're all girls. So are they just? So what would be the point? They can't
Yeah,
breed. Where are you taking what are you doing with them? Are you going to put them in a zoo? Oh, San Diego's going to love this. They're like, guys, remember back in '97? No, don't bring dinosaurs to the mainland. I mean, I'm not I'm sure all of this stuff is thoroughly answered in the film. But
I'm sure it
Mike,
is.
I'm watching the trailer. I'm like, okay, so animals have a right to life. Let's rescue the animals. Sure, I can dig it. I mean, especially since I'm sitting here in Southern California, which is on fire, and we're trying to rescue all the damn horses and people too.
Yeah.
Um, so
But I think livestock is a little different than it's like are people out there trying to rescue the deer
no,
and the armadillos
nope,
and
nope.
no.
We're just putting out buckets of water so that they can have something to drink as they run screaming through, going, fire! My home is toast. So
Yeah.
I'm okay. By the way, the fire's good 40 some miles north of me. It's up in Fallbrook. The closest one to me is up in Fallbrook. No one I know has lost a home. I actually know someone up in the Ventura area, and she's cool. She's okay.
Yeah.
Last I checked. A couple months ago, there was the fires up in San Francisco, and I know someone up there too. So I know someone in Houston, and he was fine. I know someone in Florida. She was fine. I don't know anyone in Puerto Rico. So um,
Yeah.
I know people. So what was it? Oh, Jurassic World. So, will I see the movie? Yeah, it's got dinosaurs in it. Of course, I'm going to go see the movie.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely see it when it comes out on Redbox.
Jurassic World was phenomenally stupid. I kind of enjoyed it anyway because
Yeah, it was fun to watch. It's a fun
The
popcorn
raptor jumped up
style.
onto the T-Rex and used her as a spring pad to jump up onto the
The
stupid big
Indominus.
dino, the
Yeah.
Indominus Rex. I'm like, oh my god, it's so awesome.
Um,
It's a stupid movie. It doesn't make any damn sense.
yeah.
The
Well, it's like, oh,
dialogue is terrible. There's plot
yeah,
lines that are picked up and dropped. It's just bad, but it has
yeah.
dinosaurs, and
Yeah,
that for me
the
goes a
whole
long way.
there was a lot of interesting stuff going on with that one. It's like the Velociraptors are on our side. Oh no, now they're on the Indominus's side. Oh, they're back on our side, but they work for the Tyrannosaurus Rex now. It's like, what?
She's like, Blue's on the island, and Chris, whatever his name is like, so it's a raptor. I mean, she's a cool raptor, and because she's got a blue stripe, and it's kind of badass to ride a motorcycle with your raptor posse running alongside. It's pretty badass. I hope he rides the T-Rex like a big horse. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
Dino Riders or whatever that
Yeah,
was, that
I
cartoon.
I want I want to, like Jurassic World Civil War or something where the humans have to team up with the good dinosaurs to fight the bad dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Just go bonkers with it. Your movie's already stupid. You may as well
yeah,
embrace the cheese.
definitely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, when's it come out? I didn't even, is it next Christmas
Um,
or something?
I have no idea. I didn't even bother looking to see when it's coming out.
While you're doing that, I looked. I thought I saw the reviews for Shape of Water, and it's something I'd been looking forward to seeing Guillermo del Toro movie.
Oh man, yeah,
And
that looks
I
good.
looked, and it was in the theaters. I'm like, oh, well, maybe it was just reviewed early. The next week, I'm like, yeah, it's still not. When's this movie come
It
out? And
comes
I
out.
looked, and it had come out the previous week. It's just not playing in any of my theaters.
Yeah, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom comes out in June of 2018.
Oh, they're gonna do a start of summer with it. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Let's see what else we got. We got the trailer for I'm sorry, no. Alita, Battle Angel. Because
And
the
that
English
was
title of
weird.
the book, the manga and the
Yeah.
cartoon were Battle
And
Angel Alita. I guess just to differentiate it, they're calling it Alita Battle Angel,
yeah.
and it looks. Well, look at the name of this podcast, which I'm very, very proud of, by the way.
Uncanny Galley.
Yeah, if you don't know, Gally is what her name is in the book. Um, It's not Alita. I don't know where they got that from, but whatever. I think that's actually her name in the cartoon. I'm remembering this barely, but I think the cartoon came out here and they called it Battle Angel Alita. And then and that was popular, so they brought the manga over, but they translated it a little bit more accurately. They still kept the Battle Angel Alita. The
Yeah.
original one's called like Gun something, Gun with an M on the end, or it's some weird thing. And but I think they kept her name Galley in the book, which is why I remember it. Anyway, so it looks like Battle Angel, only it's live action, but with a CG Alita or Galley, um, which is basically they took the character and they're like, hey, I've got an idea. What if we made the eyes really big, gave her big anime eyes, like someone just filmed the whole thing through a Snapchat filter and gave her a little mouth, squish the mouth and big in the eyes, and she'll look just like an anime character in live action. Won't that be neat? Uh, that will be in a horrifying and off-putting way. Yes, that would be very neat. Here's the weird thing, though. They only are doing that with Lita,
Yeah.
which I guess could work if you're trying to differentiate her as a robot. Well, she doesn't look human, right? Because she's got big eyes and a small mouth. She's got anime proportions like robots, except none of the other robots do. And if you've read the book or seen the cartoon, she doesn't really look. I mean, you can tell she's got mechanical arms and stuff. Those are accurate, but she doesn't
Yeah.
look different from the all of the characters in the book and cartoon have big anime eyes because they're cartoons.
Yeah.
It's easier to be expressive with big eyes. That's why they do that. So it's kind of weird. But I would be okay with it, I suppose, if it wasn't a phenomenally terrible effect. Because I think she's just supposed to look unreal, like a robot would look unreal, but she doesn't. She just looks like a CG character.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
again,
And that
maybe
was
I don't
a
know when this is
weird
coming out
design
either, but
choice.
maybe the effects are still very much a work in progress. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably have cemented that character design. I doubt they're going to change it at this point in production.
Hmm.
But yeah, it is a
We're
very
gonna have to go back and make her
off-putting.
eyes smaller.
Yeah, it is a very off-putting design, and I watched the trailer, and I'm just like, I would not enjoy looking at this all
It
for the entire
Yeah,
hour and a half,
it's
2 hours, or whatever the movie is going to be, because that's just, yeah, it's just you look at her and you look at all the other people, and it's like, wait, I thought we were a live action movie, but we're not a cartoon either. It's like, if you want to be a cartoon, do it as a cartoon. If you want to do live action, do it as live action. But
it's a bold choice and an interesting choice. It strikes me as kind of a dumb idea. Like, oh, I've
yeah,
got this idea. It's like, yeah, that's dumb. Don't do that. I mean, if you're gonna do that with all the characters, or at least all the robots, or at least make sure it's a good effect. I remember James Cameron saying like 10 years ago, we don't have the effects to do this yet. You still don't, apparently, because it looks terrible. Now, I'm guessing
yeah,
it's not a fully inserted CG character that the actor is actually there on set. So it's a replacement performance. They're painting over the actor. Um, but there's a couple shots that I think are full CG, and it's just like her shirt and her pants have
yeah,
almost no texture. I'm like, that's really bad. Again, maybe work in progress. They may not be done with the effects yet, but
yeah,
looking a little rough. But anyway, ignoring the effects, which is obviously the most notable thing, I don't know. There's really nothing about the movie that's really grabbing me. I might see it just out of curiosity, maybe not in the theater, but um,
yeah.
I saw the anime. I read the manga, and I rather enjoyed that when I was young. So um,
Yeah, I have no familiarity at all with the source material, so I'll probably just skip this one.
amnesiac robot in post-apocalyptic Mad Max-esque future
Whew.
doesn't. The only thing she remembers of her past is that she can fight really good, and she
Yeah.
does. And it's, was I a bad person in my past life? I have all these violent, fighty skills. It's like it doesn't matter. It's what you do now. Be the person you want to be, and it's that kind of thing. It's fine.
Okay.
It's entertaining as I recall. I haven't read it in over 20 years, but we also saw other trailers, and we saw well, not a movie, but Capcom announced Mega Man 11,
Woo.
and which I guess they got over their hatred of Mega Man,
Yeah.
or whatever the problem was for the last seven
Goodness, I
years.
have the hiccups. It's,
So it I don't know. The art style
it's
kind of left me cold.
yeah, because they're not doing it in the NES art style like they
Yeah,
did
I
with
don't need
8 and
it.
9 and
I don't think I
yeah,
need it to be exactly the NES aesthetic, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's
It's kind of like they took Mega Man powered up and just elongated him a little bit. It's like a cross between
yeah,
that and maybe Mighty Number Nine is just too fresh a taste in my mouth right now.
yeah. It when I watched the trailer, I got flashes of more Mega Man X vibe, or
Hmm. Well,
but
he's
yeah,
not
it's
as
like
short as
they're
he's not short and squat. I mean,
yeah,
when I think of, if you're going to do 3D original mainline Mega Man, I'm thinking more along the lines of what they did with him in Smash Brothers. That's Mega Man, not
yeah.
this tall, lanky dude. But I mean, at least he looks better than that concept art I saw for the cartoon. Oh, I much prefer this. Thank you.
Yeah,
But at least one of the things I read in an interview is uh, there are no female robot masters again. And
again.
I'm like, Capcom, even Mighty Number Nine got this one right. Come on
Yeah, and it's
now.
like it's not that difficult of a concept, of a thing to do. It's just make half of them women or female, and
Make them all
or at
women.
least make them all women. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I was actually
Make
about
up
to
for
write.
lost.
I was actually about to, when the thing got announced, I was about to write a tweet saying, "Dear Capcom, I double dog dare you to make all the robot masters women," because they hadn't revealed any of them yet. And then before I did that, I said, and I went online, I looked for some interviews, and they were actually asked that, and they're like, "Yeah, that we didn't do any women." It's like, really, guys, come on now. There's 100 robot masters just in the Mega Man games. I'm not counting X, ZX, Star Force,
Yeah.
any of the others, and there's one female robot master out of like 100. It's like, come on.
Oh goodness. Yeah,
Uh,
and that's yeah. Oh,
and they're like, oh well, we thought about doing women's robot masters, but it didn't really work with the power. I'm like, yes, it would have. Here, I'll prove
it's
it to you. Pick any five of your robot master of the eight robot masters you have right now. Make them women. Boom, done. You're done.
yeah.
That's all it takes. Pick five of your robot masters, make them women. That's all it takes. That's all you need to do. It's literally that simple. Come
Yeah,
on.
and
There's 100 of them.
unless the robot master's ability is the ability to shoot sperm everywhere, I think the power is interchangeable with a woman. Yeah, it's
Well, I mean, unless the character's literally masturbating at you or something. But I mean, if it's got like a syringe full of, yeah, I mean, it could do that. But then again, we have women with penises, so you could do that too. I mean, you're gonna have an AO-rated Mega Man game if you really want to do that. But
um,
Chronic Masturbator Man. I was like, wait, what? What am I playing? Capcom. 7 years and this is what you come up with? So
um, But no, but yeah, it's doesn't make any sense, and I'm sure they have some kind of internal justification about how, oh, they're all robots anyways. They, for all we care, they could, robots don't have gender identities, and it's like, well, you make them all look like guys, so
Well,
I think
that's
it's safe to
true,
assume that
except they've been gender coding them very clearly from the beginning. I mean,
yeah,
all
they're
their
they're
names end in man.
metal man, bubble man. It's yeah.
Yeah, well, the designs are gender coded, and that's okay. But it's
Yeah.
like, come on, guys. Come on. It's 2017.
Yeah.
It is long past due. Let's get some equality in here. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, is this going to ruin the game with all male robot masters? No.
Of course
It would
not.
just be cool if there were some women's in it.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, but along with the Mega Man 11 news, they did make the announcement that all the Mega Man X games are getting released on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch, which I'm excited about.
the question is, though, is it going to be a compilation, or are they going to sell them for like $8 individually?
Oh yeah, if they sell them individually, I'm going to be ticked because
And will anyone buy Mega Man X7 if they sell them individually?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think that was the universally agreed upon bad one, if I'm remembering.
Probably.
I didn't play that late in the series because
I
they
don't
weren't
think
on
I've
the
played
Super
them
NES.
all. Yeah,
I played the
I
first
didn't.
three.
I
That's
don't.
it.
Yeah, I played the Super NES ones and then the PlayStation ones. I didn't get around to playing the PlayStation 2 ones, and I'm not even sure if I played all the PlayStation 1 ones.
Matthew thinks they're going to be sold individually for $8 each.
Yeah,
that would
and
not surprise me, honestly.
That would not surprise me because one of the things I've noticed going through like the PlayStation store buying PlayStation 1 games is that things that were actually sold as bundles are now sold individually, like the Final Fantasy Anthology Collection and Origins Collection, all that stuff. You bought two games in one package, but now they're sold separately on digitally, and then the same thing with the Arc the Lad games and the Lunar Silver Star Story or whatever they are. It's like the only way to buy them physically is as a compilation, but they're sold individually on the PlayStation Network, which really sucks. And it would not surprise me at all if the Mega Man X collection is individually sold. And
Scotty
totally
Jamin points out that the Legacy collection is finally coming to the Switch too. So
oh yes, nice. Yeah, that too. So that if they're sold as a bundle, that would definitely be a day one or first month purchase along with the Switch when I actually get around to buying them, because the Mega Man games are fun. I've got 8 and 9 on my PlayStation 3 because those were in a humble bundle, PlayStation 3 Capcom bundle.
8 and 9 or 9 and 10, the newer
one? 8 and 9.
Oh, really? Well, 8 was the PlayStation one that was all cartoony looking, wasn't it? Because 7
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's 8 and 9.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't have 10. So.
Yeah, I think there was one more trailer. Oh yeah, did you see the trailer for the new Spider-Man animated movie that's coming out next Christmas?
Yeah, with Miles Morales in it. Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. Is it just me, or does Sony really seem to be going for a stop motion look to its animation?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to make of the animation. It was just.
I was wondering. I'm like, am I getting a framey playback? Or are they going for kind of a stuttery stop motion look with this 3D animated movie? I don't mind. I just find it kind of odd.
Yeah, it was a. I don't know if it was just the way the trailer was cut, but yeah, I
didn't really like the way the trailer was cut. It was a little frantic and busy with stuff all over the place. Color lines and words and I'm like, dude, focus.
Yeah.
like whoever cut the trailer had too much sugar. Maybe they tried a few boxes of that Super Mario cereal with the
Super
marshmallows.
Mario Lucky Charms.
Ugh, yeah. Remember, I was complaining about the cereal. I'm like, it looks like Lucky Charms, which is gross. And then I watched a bunch of people try it just to see what they'd say, and they're like, um, Andre from
Tastes
Game
like
Explainers,
Lucky
like, crunch, crunch, crunch. It's Lucky Charms. Kevin at Go Nintendo's, it's Lucky Charms. I'm like, yeah, it's Lucky Charms. It's everyone's
Well,
like,
isn't that
that's
what
exactly what it looks like.
all
That's what all cereal.
cartoon and video
Right.
game branded cereal was back in the 80s and early 90s? Wasn't it all just Lucky Charms with different
Yeah,
shaped cereal pieces?
yeah. And then Kix is like, oh yeah, well we're gonna do that without the marshmallows. Mom is gonna love it. Kid tested, mother approved. Did any kids actually like Kix without dumping a mountain of sugar on it?
Um, I actually like the berry kicks. Like they have berry and honey
Oh
flavored
well,
kicks
you get the
nowadays.
you get yeah,
But yeah,
because you can't eat Cheerios. You have to have honey nut Cheerios or cinnamon Cheerios or
yeah,
something to save on.
I'm not a I don't like regular Cheerios, but the multigrain Cheerios, that's really good. I like
Yeah,
that
yeah, something with some flavor.
one.
See, I don't really dig on cereal anyway. It's
Yeah.
fine. I ate it as a kid because that's just what I ate. But I prefer cereals like granola cereals like grape nuts or something. But grape nuts with raisins and stuff. Just put stuff
I
in it and
never
make a.
liked grape
You
nuts.
don't like grape nuts? Oh, I don't like how
Yeah.
expensive they are because they're like $5 for a
Oh yeah,
small.
it's
And have you
well,
seen how
it's
thin that
densely
Super Mario
packed.
cereal
Yeah.
box is? It's like this thin.
Yeah, I haven't
It,
actually seen the. I'm sure it's no bigger than the
it
Count
looks really small.
Chocula and Boo Berry and Frankenberry cereal that comes out around Halloween time. I'm sure they're no bigger than that. But
Uh, uh, Back
uh,
to Spider-Man. I mean, it looks cool. I like the. I'm still weirded out by the stop motiony look of it. I
yeah,
I don't know if that's the intention or if it was just maybe a bad upload that dropped frames. But the sorry, mouth is dry. One thing that I was a little irritated by is that it feels like Sony is afraid to do Spider-Man without Peter Parker. Like, the
yeah.
end where Miles is sitting there with, I'm assuming, Parker. It's like, how many of us are there? To me, it kind of feels like Sony is like, no, 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 relax, fan kids. The real Spider-Man is still there doing his thing.
Well,
This
but
is the
earlier in
Miles.
the trailer, they
Yeah.
show the tombstone. You don't see the full name, but you see P and P, and so you assume it's
Oh,
Peter Parker.
I didn't even
Um,
notice it.
yeah, that was earlier in the trailer, and then at the end they had him sitting across from what we assume is Peter Parker as Spider-Man. But yeah, but Peter Parker is a part of Miles Morales's origin because he idolizes and I think he did a little bit of training under Peter Parker, and then Peter Parker dies and Miles
Hmm.
takes over full time as Spider-Man
Yeah.
in the Ultimates universe. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
mean, I
don't
don't
know how
mind
to
him being in the
handle it.
movie. I mean, it's Welcome to the Multiverse or something like the Enter the Multiverse. So I expect Parker and Spider Pig and all the others to be there at some point.
Yeah,
Um, that I don't mind, but it just felt like when he does the reveal, it's like, look, it's Miles Morales, and then they immediately go to other Spider. It's like, no, 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 look, yeah, it's Miles Morales, but Peter Parker's here too. I'm like, it just it's not a huge deal. It just kind of feels like
yeah.
Sony is afraid to get away from Peter Parker.
I
Along the
and
lines of
that
go ahead,
wouldn't surprise me. It's because to them,
new
Spider-Man is
things are
Peter
scary.
Parker, and that's what the vast majority of people associate Spider-Man with is Peter
Well,
Parker.
sure, because that's who's been in all of the movies and all of the cartoon. Well, almost all of the cartoons. Well, I
Yeah,
actually
well,
think
no,
they
they
haven't
brought
done.
in
Wait,
they
didn't they
brought
didn't they do a Spider-Man 2099 cartoon? Am I
no, they
remembering
didn't do
something
a
wrong? Did
Spider.
they
They
do
didn't do a
Ultimate
29,
Spider-Man?
and
Is
they have done they had Spider-Man. I don't
did they
remember.
have they
That,
done a cartoon that starred non-Peter Parker Spider-Man?
no, they've had other
That's why
Spider-Man
most people
as
that's why
side
most people see
characters,
Peter Parker as
side
Spider-Man.
stuff. But yeah, Spider-Man, Peter Parker has always been the main focus of the cartoons. Yeah, they've never done Spider-Man 2099 other than during um, Spider-Man Unlimited or whatever it was with the fourth wall breaking Spider-Man. They did a
Mhm.
series with where he went through the multiverse, and he actually had a 15-minute episode with Spider-Man 2099. But,
Scotty says, "Did you say Spider Pig from The Simpsons?" Well, I didn't mean the one from The Simpsons, but I'm
no,
pretty sure there
Spider
actually
Ham.
is
Yeah,
Spider Ham. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
But Spider Ham is actually a spider that was bitten by a radioactive pig and
Is
turned
that what
into
it
Spider
is?
Ham. Yeah,
Okay,
that's exactly what it
that's
is.
pretty damn funny. I like that.
Yeah.
So I guess last thing maybe would be, did you see the thing for Marvel? I think it's a new cartoon show that they're going to do next year, but it has Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel
Yeah. I
um,
saw the poster. It
and
was
Quake and let me
yeah.
look it
They're
up.
they're they're Ming Na Wen is going to voice the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What the hell is it called?
They're gonna
Marvel
have
Rising or something?
yeah, because they're gonna have American Chavez in there, uh,
Yeah.
and a bunch of basically all the Kamala Khan,
And
uh,
Spider
Ms.
Gwen.
Yeah,
Marvel's,
Spider
although they're
Gwen,
calling
yeah,
her Spider Ghost or Ghost Spider or something. Marvel Rising Secret Warriors, yeah. So we've got
yeah,
Miss Marvel, Quake, America Chavez, Squirrel Girl, Captain Marvel, uh,
yeah. Captain Marvel is gonna be,
Spider Gwen, some fire dude, and is that
yeah,
Falcon
that
Captain America? I can't tell who that
Inferno,
is.
and yeah, I don't remember who all those characters were.
I don't know, but I dig the art style and I like those
Yeah, the
characters.
poster
So
looks really good, and yeah, the characters are all great characters from what
yeah,
from what little have experienced of them. But
I
yeah,
now Quake I only know from
Agents
Marvel's
of Shield.
Agents of
Yeah,
Shield. And the fire guy, I'm not sure who that is, and I'm not sure if that's Captain
he's
America,
another
Falcon, or
Inhuman.
what.
His name is Inferno, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, he's
I'll
another
look for this.
Inhuman, and he showed up around the same time as Kamala did,
Hmm.
I believe, or at least most recently, he's been associated with that run of Inhumans. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
um,
They're doing a live action one that has Squirrel Girl in it too. I forget what it's
yeah, they're doing a television show.
is it
Which one is
New
that?
Avengers, New Mutants, New something. Is it?
No, it's
Maybe
not New
not new
Mutants.
anything. No, New
Um,
Mutants is that like horror movie. Uh
yeah.
what are they calling it? Isn't the one on like Freeform or some weird channel that I've never heard of?
The Freeform, I think, was just going to
Cloak and
do
Dagger?
the Cloak and Dagger,
Okay, I'm
and then
mixing
they
things up
were.
here.
I think NBC was supposed, or ABC was supposed to be doing whatever it is that has Squirrel Girl in it, but now I can't remember what that show is called.
We've got
Um,
animated Squirrel Girl and live action Squirrel Girl, so now we just
yeah,
need movie Squirrel Girl, and the world will be a awesome place.
yeah.
I'm still not sure why they're calling Spider Gwen Spider Ghost, or it actually kind of
Probably
works as a
because the
name.
Gwen name is, it's like what self-respecting hero uses their own name as their
That's
superhero
true. I've not
identity.
read any of her
Yeah,
books, so I don't know what name she goes by. If she just goes by Spider Man or Spider Woman, or I don't know what she go. I don't know what she goes
yeah,
by.
yeah. I
It
don't
makes
know
me wonder
either.
if they
It's
ever
always
do.
been Spider Gwen.
If they do a Gwen Pool movie, are they gonna do a different
Gwenpool.
name?
Oh,
Pool
I think
Ghost.
if they do a Gwenpool, it's movie. It's she's just gonna have to keep Gwenpool as the name because that's
And
that.
just throw her into Deadpool 2 or 3 and spin her off from there.
Yeah,
If you're lame like that, Fox, if you own the rights to Gwenpool, I don't know if they do.
yeah.
I have
I
absolutely
don't
no idea
know.
who the heck owns that character, but I've read excerpts from her book, and the excerpts I've read, which are always the best parts, are pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
Um, so lots of cool stuff. So see, I do like things occasionally, once in a while.
Yes, we do like things every once in a while. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to. I just did a new debut review for My Hero Academia, and I didn't like
Yeah.
it.
I don't blame you.
I
You know,
felt bad because so
I
many
gave it
people recommended it.
three episodes, and it still didn't really interest me. And I,
I've read a lot from my viewers who've talked
New
about weird
Warriors, that's
shows.
the TV show
New
that they were trying
Warriors,
to get on.
okay,
But
that's
I think that one's in some development issues. I think
oh, that's a shame.
they haven't quite figured out what network is going to take it up, and that's holding up production on it.
Because I liked the collection of characters because they said we're going
Yeah,
to do these characters. I'm like, solid.
yeah, because I've watched
Um,
the first two episodes of Runaways, and
oh,
that
how's
series
that?
is looking really good. The
That's on
first
Hulu,
episode
right?
was Yeah, that's on Hulu. The first
Okay.
episode was kind of slow. I was kind of disappointed in just how slow they introduced everything. But once I got into the second episode, it started to get a little more interesting, and so I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it. But yeah, it's I think I haven't watched enough of it, but it might be better than The Gifted, which The Gifted I've been watching too, and that's pretty good as well. So
That's
that's
mutants,
the
right?
Fox Mutant show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, My Hero Academia, I've been reading comments from my viewers who talk about the show later, and a lot of people seem to be, yeah, it is kind of flat and two-dimensional character and story-wise for the first run of episodes. Um, and a lot of people say it really, really comes into its own and gets good in season two. I'm like, yeah,
That's a lot of time to invest in it
that's a
in
ways
the
to get
hope
in there.
that it pays off. Yeah.
And you know,
The-
so I probably don't have the patience to stick with the show long enough for it to get good. I have no doubt that it actually does get good and it goes to interesting places and it discusses some really interesting themes and that the characters reveal heretofore unknown depths that are seriously interesting. I just don't know if I have the patience to wait that long.
yeah,
Um,
I definitely don't.
yeah, I also didn't really care for the art. Uh,
Yeah.
Rarely will art
Well,
make me go, no, I'm not going to watch this. And this wasn't that, but I was like, not really doing it
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, surprisingly, I've been watching Fairy Tale. I've seen a
Never
few
watched
things that
any of
you've
it.
never seen.
I've seen character art, but I've never
Yeah,
actually seen the
well,
show.
I've seen a few things related to Fairy Tale, and then just a few weeks back, I was just like, I wonder what this is like. I'm still, it still has a lot of those anime tropes that I really don't like, but the story is good enough that I've actually enjoyed it. Um, and I'm actually into like episode 100 something. There's over like nearly 300 episodes
Mhm.
for the show, and right around episode 100. Uh, they start to get a little more fan servicey, and that's kind of annoying. Like they still have the horn dog characters, the overtly I love this person and I want to marry this person and have their babies characters in there, but they've never really been fan servicey. But like around episode 100, they start doing that, and it's just really annoying.
We're
And
losing viewers. Quick, make with the boobs.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah. But it's like
So
but still, it's like earlier episodes. It was just kind of weird because they would do a bath scene where one of the girls is in the bath, but the girl has a towel wrapped around her head and her body, and she's submerged in water, and I'm like, what? And that doesn't
yeah,
make any
I've
sense.
seen characters go to like usually hot springs. They'll do that, but it's usually open
Yeah,
bath, so I could understand why they do that. But I'm like, I hope you have another towel to dry yourself off with because that one's soaked.
yeah,
Um, so I'm
yeah. But
gonna continue
so
debut review in a different way. I'll still be doing some anime, but I'm expanding it to include any episodic show. So you'll
Yeah, because
see.
I saw you mentioned Agents of Shield season 5.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
actually going to record 2 episodes tonight, and so I'll have them. So I think I'll have a new video every Friday this month. I did the debut review for My Hero Academia last yesterday. Next week, I'll probably do the release the debut review for the opening of season 5, Agents of Shield. I don't know
yeah.
if it's a two-parter, so I don't know if I should watch both parts or.
I would go ahead and just watch both parts because I've watched them both, and yeah, you kind of just want to watch both of them just to get a good feel for it. But you could probably end it at episode 1, but I
Yeah, I mean
wouldn't.
it could because the idea is like how successful is the first episode at convincing me to watch the second,
Yeah, but
and I
they
imagine
aired both of them back to back, anyways.
it's the
When
way it aired. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So I'm also going to do probably at the end of the month, although I'm going to record both of these tonight. Stranger Things, which I've still never seen. So kind of excited. I'm kind of excited and a bit scared because it's a thing that everybody likes, and I don't want to dislike the thing that everybody likes. I don't want to watch the first episode of Stranger Things and go, "This is stupid," you know.
yeah,
So we'll see. We'll
I don't know.
see.
But but speaking of Agents of Shield, the first few minutes of episode 1 of season 5, um, I started watching and I'm like, is this Agents of Shield? This doesn't make any sense. What is going on here?
Hmm.
And then it's like 5 minutes in, it's like, oh, this is Agents of Shield. They still haven't shown Coulson and any of the other guys, but it's like about 5 minutes in, you realize, oh yeah, this is definitely Agents of Shield.
I still just want to know what the hell happened to Deathlock.
I know he kind of
What's
disappeared
he
there. I'm like,
doing?
he could have been very useful in season 4, but he
He
wasn't
I don't think we've
around.
seen him since season 2. When Quake's
Um,
discovering her power, when Daisy's discovering her Quake powers, Coulson locks her up in a cabin in the middle of the woods that was built to hold the Hulk,
yeah,
and then people are after her, and Deathlock shows up as Coulson made a call, and here's my trump card, haha. I think that's like the last time we ever saw him was
yeah,
season
he
2.
hasn't. Yeah, it's like you would think that he would be on their A team because he's just that powerful. But
Yeah, but I mean, he said, "Well, I've got to work on redeeming myself so that I can
yeah,
reconnect with my son." I'm like, okay, it's been 2.5 years. How you doing with that, Mike? So,
yeah,
um, uh,
but
and it's a shame too because I genuinely like the character and the act and that actor's performance as that character, and I think there's
yeah,
some cool things
yeah.
he could have done with it, but. Maybe the effect was too. Oh, it was mostly makeup. They didn't CG anything with him, did they? It was all makeup.
Just the like his guns and stuff that was CG'd, but
Hmm.
yeah, for the most part, he was just a guy in a suit that looked robotic. But
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, hopefully we see a little bit of Ghost Rider this season because he was a great character last season.
yeah, yeah.
But
That was cool. I don't like the villains in Agents of Shield, says Trey. Uh,
mm,
I never
I don't
cared
know.
for Brett Dalton, so
Yeah,
and he's in it every damn season. I was so
they
glad to be rid of him for season 4, and then he pops up in the second half of season 4. I'm like, no, go away.
they have been doing better with the villains
Yeah,
in season 4 especially, but a little bit of season 3 had some good villains in there too. But yeah, the first couple of seasons the villains were just kind of yeah. It's like the lady who grafted scalpels to her fingertips,
that
like.
was
But
stupid.
that's stupid. It's
Well,
like,
Kyle
how is this person a
MacLachlan's
threat?
character was awesome. I loved him.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. He was Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde.
Yeah,
And I really liked Ada in the second half
yeah.
of
Season
season
4.
4.
Yeah, and
And
then
also the other characters we know, like Fitz, who was a bad guy in the system
yeah.
game thing. I thought
Um,
that was some great stuff.
the I now I'm forgetting the actor's name, but the when they first did the Hydra plot line where they had the guy who trained Ward forget the actor's name now.
Was it Bill Paxton?
Yeah, Bill Paxton. Yeah, I thought his character was pretty good. I
Yeah.
liked him
Well,
as an antagonist.
I mean, he's just a charismatic actor, but what really
Yeah,
worked was um, that organizational heel turn that they did in the Winter Soldier movie, and then bled into the cartoon,
the
the
show. Yeah,
show, and that actually made everyone sit up and go, "Wow, oh,"
yeah,
and made what was a an okay but somewhat bland episodic show really come into its own at
hmm
episode 20.
yeah,
So it actually the
yeah,
last 6 or so episodes of Agents of Shield season 1 are pretty good.
yeah,
um
yeah. But with the season 3 and 4, when they finally threw out the whole waiting for the movies to drop to really get things rolling, that they really came into their own, I
yeah.
think. So.
And Agent Carter was good too. Bring that back. I
Yes,
liked
Agent
Agent
Carter was good. Season 2 wasn't as good as season 1, but it was still
Agreed.
pretty darn good television.
Agreed.
But Agent Carter is definitely a good show. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of other Marvel shows out there. Legion from Fox was good. Did you ever watch any of that?
Nope.
No, that's a good show. I liked it. It might still be on Hulu. I don't know, but yeah, I enjoyed that. Gifted is okay, not nearly as good as Legion, and Inhumans was just absolute garbage.
Mhm. Yeah, I heard everyone hated it. I think Marvel's just gonna sweep that one under the rug. What, Inhumans? No, oh, you mean the ones on Agents of
Agents
Shield?
of Shield, yeah,
I
that
don't know
whole
what else you
season
could be
two
talking about. We
that
didn't
we
make
we
the
did,
Inhumans movie. What?
yeah, and then but yeah, it's I don't know what they were thinking with that show. It's I think they just kind of the way they did it because they announced an Inhumans movie as part of Phase 4,
Mhm.
and then
I
things
think it's
changed and
originally
they
phase 3, or well, I don't know, but
I don't know.
yeah,
It was
still
supposed to come out after Infinity War,
okay.
and then things
Yeah, it's
changed.
originally
They
like
had to shift.
2019 or something. They're like,
Yeah,
we're
and they
going
had
to
to
do
change
this.
things around because they brought in they're doing the Captain Marvel movie and
Mhm.
a second Ant-Man movie and stuff, and so things had to change, and they kind of felt, I guess they felt obligated to still make something about
Yeah,
within humans.
that's what it feels like to me, is
Yeah,
that they made Inhuman. Well, we said we were going to. I guess we have to do something, and no one really wanted to or had a good idea for it.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it felt
I
like
think
a
they
show
should
of
have just made it
obligation.
as part of Agents of Shield. Do like a half season arc involving the Inhumans on Atalan, and then move on.
Do the
Yeah,
Secret Warrior. I mean, they had an episode in season 4 which was Secret Warriors, and it was like 5 minutes of that episode
yeah,
where Daisy and Yo-Yo and um the other guy with the fire powers who's in like 3 or 4 episodes.
yeah.
Can't remember what his name is,
I
but
can't remember his name
but
either.
he's cool, charming dude.
Yeah,
Um,
he's Inferno Junior.
kind of, yeah, he has fire powers. And seeing that, and there was someone else in there, and they wander, and it was great. I'm like, spin off that. They had that little yo-yo mini web series, which was
Yeah,
essentially one episode just chopped into like 6 parts, and that was fine.
yeah.
So yeah,
They were
they
going
could have
to do
easily done
that.
something like
Yeah,
that.
they were going to do that Most Wanted TV show with Bobby Morse,
And
Mockingbird, and
Hunter,
Hunter.
maybe.
Yeah, I forget his full name, but Nick Blood is the actual actor's name.
Yeah,
Um,
he's like, I will never play a character with a name as cool as my own.
yeah,
I
but they were going to do a spin-off show, and they actually wrote those two characters out of Agents of Shield,
to
and
do
then
it, and then
and
the show
then
didn't get picked up.
yeah,
I
so
imagine they shot and previewed a pilot, and then it just didn't get picked up. I
probably yeah.
so
I think probably the issue with that one was it just didn't do enough to differentiate itself from Agents of Shield.
also
Um,
Bobby and Hunter might not work without
on their
the
own,
rest of the
without
team.
the rest of the ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. They played off each other fairly well, but I think it definitely worked better when there were other members of the team with them. So, but oh well, maybe we'll get some more Marvel television soon. If things like the new Warriors movie that they're doing does well, and then Cloak and Dagger, if whenever that comes out and that does well enough on Freeform, maybe they'll start getting a little more adventurous
Yeah.
and coming up, doing other ideas on television.
Yep.
Because everybody wants a She-Hulk uh, movie or TV show.
Yeah, I mean the problem we've talked about this before, but the problem is just budget. I mean, how do
Yeah,
you do that? To do She-Hulk right, you
just
almost
Lou
need to do a
Ferrigno
full
it.
you almost need to do a full CG character to do her right. But
Yeah,
TV just does not have the budget to do that. So the only other recourse is to find an incredibly muscular actor to play She-Hulk and paint her green and use probably a lot of forced perspective tricks to make her
yeah,
appear 7 feet tall. But I don't know. Finding a really large muscular woman who has the dramatic and comedy chops to play She-Hulk is probably a fairly limited pool of people. Not impossible,
probably. Yeah,
but
and yeah, there are some actresses out there that could pull it off, but yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but so She-Hulk's probably not the character and they're ever going to focus on for a show,
unless
which
they
is
just
kind of
manage to
sad.
find the absolute right actor that they can paint green, yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
Which the other problem with that is you'd have to have two actors, one for She-Hulk and one for what's her name? Um,
yeah, I forget her name.
Susan. Everyone is Susan.
Susan. Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I'm trying to think of other characters that would do well in television that they probably won't do. Moon Knight, I guess, is another character people want to see because of the success of the Netflix side of Marvel.
you know what
Um,
I'd like to see? I'd like to see a Spectre or something like because that could be like just a Tales from the Crypt kind of horror.
mhm.
Uh, uh, I am thinking of the right character, right? The green cape and white and green character who does the whole monkey's paw kind of
Hmm.
uh,
I don't know.
kill.
It's
It literally kills bad guys, but with a twist. You know, for
yeah.
whatever their sins are, like turns it around on them. Um,
Is that a DC thing? I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, Spectre's DC, I think.
Yeah, because
If I'm,
DC
yeah,
has
you're right.
has
That's DC.
two ghostly killers like that.
Well, I
Um,
guess Ghost Rider is kind of similar to Spectre in a way.
yeah,
Although Spectre is just like all powerful, I guess. I don't know what the limits on that character is.
yeah,
Um, Chaos says, yeah, that is DC. Yeah, but whatever, it would be cool.
yeah. But yeah, people have also mentioned Moon Knight, which is a
Sure.
character I don't have a lot of familiarity with, other than what I've read online.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that one could be fun. Just based on what I understand, definitely not a cartoon style character, but definitely something along the lines of a Netflix show. I think. But
Trey wants to see Gambit. Well, they're still trying to make a movie.
yeah, they're still trying to make a movie with what's his face,
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. Yeah, um, but yeah, the X-Men definitely. There's a large pool of characters and teams that they could pull from to make various television shows. Um, but yeah, they're doing their D team characters for Gifted right now. So, but just a bunch of characters that were Morlocks and just random mutants in the comic books in this thing. I think Thunderbird or whatever his name is. Um, he's the only character that I know of that was ever really a mainstream character in the comics. But yeah. Well, I guess Blink is probably another fairly well-known one, but yeah.
By comics fans, certainly not the general audiences. I don't think
Yeah.
she's even been in the cartoons. At least not the older ones. Maybe she's in one of the
Um,
more recent ones.
I don't remember her in the cartoons. No, she was in Days of Future Past, the
Oh, the
movie,
movie?
just in the beginning segment when
Oh,
they're
okay.
in the future, trying to get to where they can send somebody in the past. She's in there along with Thunderbird, and so she's had a little bit of screen time.
And Piper Bucky O'Hare movie or series. But you know what we need? And this is my role. Howard the Duck.
Yes, a Howard the Duck TV series. That one would, I think that would do a lot better than a Howard the Duck movie. Because we've already
Yeah, it
had a
could
Howard
be.
the Duck movie, but
Well,
make them a
Howard the Duck
TV
in name
series.
only.
Make them a TV series.
Hodimo.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it could be almost Marvel's own Deadpool, although
Yeah.
Deadpool kind of is Marvel, but it's Fox.
A
So
Howard the Duck, Cosmo the dog team up movie.
there you go.
There you go.
Or just pair him up with Thor. Thor works well with others.
Thor and Daryl. They need a Daryl TV show. Did you ever see those shorts?
Oh, with Thor and his roommate Daryl.
Yeah.
It's like Thor. It's like, hey, I gotta go, save the galaxy, but to help cover my end of the rent, I've sent someone to stay in my seed. And he opens the door, and there's Howard the Duck. And he's like, hey, poor Daryl's like, why me?
Yeah.
So, all right, I think that's enough. I've got videos
We're
to shoot
rambling now.
tonight. So, thank you everyone for watching. Andrew Eisen here. Eisen is how you spell the last name. Plug it into YouTube. You'll find my videos. I'll be doing a couple debut reviews, doing it differently, not going to review all the anime every season because as fun as that was, I just don't have the time. So I'm going to expand that to any episodic show. So anime, other cartoons, live action, whatever I have access to. So if you have any recommendations or suggestions or things you would like to see me do a debut review for, just hit me up on Twitter or somewhere and let me know. Speaking of Twitter, at Andrew Eisen. And that be all. Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night, where I talk politics and gaming, and also I do game development work at DK_gaming on Twitter and DivineKnightGaming.com. And then if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and OKGameDev.com.
And Scotty's been saying that Disney might be buying Fox. I would prefer it didn't. I think Disney owns enough. I don't mind Marvel getting Fantastic Four and X-Men and stuff back. Getting back properties that other companies don't know what to do with or can't make good movies out of.
Well, and distribution rights to the original Star Wars trilogy.
But I don't really need Disney owning everything. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So I don't want Disney to own Fox too. Disney already owns Star Wars and Pixar and Marvel. It's like, okay, it's enough pieces of pie there, Disney. Competition is good. I mean, again, I would prefer better Fantastic Four and X-Men movies, and I have no doubt that Marvel could, which is owned by Disney, could make them. But I don't know if I really want Disney to buy another humongous company. So, but so anyway, that is it for our show this week. Praise me for the incredibly awesome title I had for the show. I'm really proud of that one, and most people aren't going to get it because you have to know what the character's name is in the original work. So anyway, thanks everyone. I will be gone next week, but Zachary will be here, and then the week after is Christmas weekend, so we will be dark that weekend, and we will see you but we will be back on what is it, the 30th.
Yeah, the 30th. So yeah, next week, just check out the Random Tower YouTube channel. That's where the podcast will be hosted there for that week, and then yeah, we'll be off the week after. But yeah,
All right, you've been watching 77th episode of Molehill Mountain. Take care, everyone. Bye.
see ya.